Hello, good afternoon, welcome. I'm very pleased to be joined by Thomas Weiß. Thomas is Vice President at TUV SUD, obviously a leading player in the certification and testing industry. So welcome, Thomas.
Thank you very much, Nadim, for having me here.
So we're going to talk about MENA and hydrogen. What are some of your thoughts as the industry begins to ramp up and we're seeing, lots of news, lots of projects, and how are you viewing the market? How are you viewing the development of hydrogen for export and also potentially more domestic usage across the region?
Quite a lot of topics at once, but I think definitely MENA is one of the most interesting regions when it comes to hydrogen, and especially hydrogen derivatives. I mean, when we talk about Europe or Northern Africa, I think there's a lot of large potential for green hydrogen or hydrogen in general transported to Europe in gaseous form via pipeline connections. When we talk about more the Middle East regions, a lot of people focusing a bit more on the topic around ammonia and shipping this to Europe. But the most important part is, I think we heard it in Rotterdam during the World Hydrogen Congress quite a lot. And also here, it's just about the abundant natural resources that are available, and that thus allows the region to produce hydrogen at low costs and also supply Europe with it.
And in terms of the supply in Europe, and you mentioned the derivatives, I guess because it's new products, it requires new processes, new certification, new standards in order to help ensure a premium product, a good quality product, and maintain the standard of the products. So,
new standards. I think we will talk about the certification definitely a bit, because this is what creates a bit of uncertainty in the market, because there's no clear mechanism or no clear criteria around certification. But this is not that important from my point of view. I think it's only important in the mandatory market, like we have now the European Union, the RFNBOs for the transport sector, where we have a mandatory quota that has to be fulfilled. And to be eligible for this quota, you need to fulfill a certain criteria. So that means this is the whole discussion around the Delegated Act. So these are mandatory schemes for these quota regulations. On the other side, which is still for steel, for the whole industry, it's a voluntary scheme. So, and there are a lot of certification mechanisms out there. Like we as TUV SUD, we have our own. They're certified for the European schemes. There are also our competitors that have green hydrogen certificates. And this is applicable for the voluntary schemes and for the voluntary market.
So two quite distinct markets in terms of mandatory and voluntary, requiring two different sort of processes. And in terms of other areas that need, I guess, clarity and more standards work, what else do you see?
This is a large topic. I mean, we talked about Munich Re is here. They will talk about it, for example, around performance guarantees for electrolyzers. This is one thing. Then the whole topic around supply chains, the new supply chains they're going to involve, that are widening up. So it's not the partners that a lot of companies already work with. So there's new companies and new production areas. And then the topic is around certification of the safety of these products, hydrogen readiness. So there's not yet a clear definition of what means hydrogen ready. So we, for example, developed a guideline together with Siemens Energy on hydrogen readiness for combined cycle gas turbines. And for different hydrogen components, we have a certification mark. But still, this is also a voluntary scheme for producers to show that their product component is hydrogen ready. But this would definitely help to have also from a regulatory point of view, a clear definition of what means hydrogen ready.
In terms of your experience of other fast maturing markets, is it just a question of the sort of standards setting process, having to catch up with, which is, with a market that has been growing very, very quickly? Do you think it's just a question of time, or there needs to be more effort or investment into the standard setting process?
I think the effort is there. I mean, Dii has defined some working groups around standard settings. The Hydrogen Council is strongly working on it. There's ISO working groups. So there's definitely working groups. And I think the focus on it is quite large. But the problem is that it takes time. You always need to find a joint solution.
Yeah.
And to do compromises, and this needs a lot of discussion.
Yeah.
That's why also, if you wait for politics, you're always a bit behind the market.
Yeah.
That's also with the green hydrogen certification. So that's why it needs industries to develop, for example, the first standards, like industry norms, industry standards, to push also a bit the regulation and these normative committees into one direction.
Gotcha. Excellent. Well, a fascinating area, and I'm looking forward to hearing more, and hopefully as the market begins to develop, and we'll look forward to tracking the work you're doing. So thanks a lot, Thomas, for sharing your thoughts today.
Yeah, more than welcome. Thank you, Nadim.
Cheers. Take care.